Hi, good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
In the last lecture, that is yesterday, we have seen intermediate value theorem. So what is the statement of intermediate value theorem? There you.
Yes, sir.
State intermediate value theorem. What does it tells us?
Every continuous function defined on closed interval AB assumes
Yes.
every value between its maximum and minimum.
Very good. Completely true. Every continuous function on closed interval AB defines every value between its maximum and minimum. Okay, so yesterday I have given one proof, and also we have seen Bolzano theorem. Abhay, what does it tells us, Bolzano theorem? Do you remember?
Limsuk વાળો એ જ ને?
Yes, Bolzano theorem. Not Bolzano Weierstrass, just Bolzano.
નથી યાદ છે.
No problem. So Bolzano theorem is this. So it tells us that if f is a continuous function on closed interval a b to r, and suppose fa and fb are of opposite sign, then there exists c belongs to ab such that f of c equal to 0, or fx is a root between a and b. So this is a Bolzano theorem, and Bolzano theorem is nothing but consequence of intermediate value theorem. So now today again we will see intermediate value theorem, but we will prove intermediate value theorem by different way. So state and prove intermediate value theorem. So what is the statement? Already we know the statement. Every continuous function on closed interval ab to r, on closed interval ab, assumes every value between its maximum and minimum. So this is the statement of intermediate value theorem. Let us prove this by different way. So let me consider one function. Let f from ab to r be continuous function. Since f is a continuous mapping on closed interval ab to r, therefore f is bounded subset of r. Hence it's assume its maximum and minimum. Already we have proved that in the extreme value theorem, every continuous function on closed interval ab to r assumes its maximum and minimum. So therefore by previous result, supremum of fx, x belongs to ab, as well as infimum of fx, x belongs to ab, exist. So let us take small m equal to infimum of fx where x belongs to AB and capital M equal to supremum of x belongs to AB fx. So small m and capital M are infimum and supremum respectively of this function f. So now what is my claim? If I take any number between infimum and supremum, then I can find out some c from AB so that f of c equal to that number. So this is my claim. For every alpha belongs to R with M less than or equal to M, then there exists some C belongs to AB such that f of C equal to alpha. This is my claim. Okay. So now we know that every continuous function on closed interval AB assumes its maximum and minimum. Therefore, there exist P and Q from closed interval AB such that f of small p is equal to small m is equal to infimum of fx where x belongs to AB and f of q equal to supremum of fx where x belongs to AB. Okay. So now let me draw a rough diagram of this. This is my origin, this is y-axis, this is my x-axis, and this is my function. This is point A, this is point B. Okay, so this is fx. This is a continuous function. Okay, so now you can see supremum is here, occurs somewhere here. This is supremum, this is M, and infimum occurs somewhere here, C. So this is M. So theorem tells us that if I take any alpha between M and M, then I can find out some C from A between A and B so that f of C equal to alpha. Now that C is nothing but draw a line parallel to x-axis. It cuts the graph at this point. So now this point is C. Do you understand, Abhay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. See, this is my M. So at M, small m, f has well f of p equal to small m. So this point is small p. And tell me this point, what is the coordinate of this point? Vaibhav?
Q.
Q. Very good. So this is point C This is P and this is Q. Okay. Now I will consider the set I will take set of all x for which f of x less than or equal to alpha. So this is alpha. Okay. So before that, let me write down this thing before proceeding the proof. So there are two possibilities. If m and m are same, one thing is clear from this. F of p less than or equal to f of x less than or equal to f of q, and this is true for every x belongs to closed interval. Why this is true? Because at point P f takes in minimum value and at point Q f takes maximum value. So this is true, and this is nothing but small m and this is nothing but capital M. Clear? So keep this thing in your mind. So now let me consider the case 1. Small m equal to capital M. If these two are same, that is fp equal to fq. So by the way, before taking this, let me take one element alpha. I have not taken any alpha yet. I have just write down the claim. This is my claim. So from where I should begin, by the way? I should take some alpha from R, so that alpha is a member between small m and capital M. So let alpha belongs to R be such that small m less than or equal to alpha less than or equal to capital M. Now let me consider two cases. Case 1, small m equal to capital M. That is, you can say that f of p equal to f of q. Therefore, fx equal to f of p equal to f of q. Okay, and which is equal to f of p equal to f of q. Let me say this to be 2, and f of p equal to f of q equal to m equal to capital M equal to alpha, and this is true because of 2 by 2. Here you can say by 2. Therefore, fx equal to alpha for every x belongs to closed interval AB. So I have found not only one C, there are infinitely many x for which f takes value alpha. So in this case we have proved the theorem. Do you understand this case? Vaibhav?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now let us consider second case. 2. Let us assume that m is not equal to m. Okay. And in this case, let me define set. Yesterday I have defined set. Similar set today I also define. Do you remember I have defined two set yesterday, A and B. But today I will define only one set. So now see, here one thing is clear, m is not equal to m. Therefore, fp not equal to fq, and therefore p not equal to q. Since pq belongs to closed interval AB, closed interval PQ is a subset of closed interval AB. Okay, so also keep this thing in your mind. Let me draw a diagram so that you will get clear cut idea. This is my P, sorry, A. This is my B, this is my P, and this is my Q. Okay. Now define a set S. I am taking set of all X from AB, or PQ rather than AB, such that f of X less than or equal to alpha. See, I have taken, yesterday also I have defined similar type of set. Yesterday I have taken fx less than alpha. Today I am taking fx less than or equal to alpha. If I will define just one set, today I will define only one set, and with the help of this one set I will find out some C, so that f of C equal to alpha. So look at this set, how it look like. This is a very crucial part. This is a very important part of the theorem. So I have considered this set S. X belongs to PQ, so that fx less than or equal to alpha. So in diagram, what I have done is this. See, here I have drawn a line. What is the equation of this line? Tell me, Vaibhav, what is the equation of that line?
Y is equal to alpha.
Very good, y equal to alpha. So let me write it with different color so that you can visualize the things. This is y, sorry, where is y equal to alpha. Clear? So this is y equal to alpha, and I have considered this type of set. Set, can you say what are the values in set S? See, I have taken set of all x from PQ where fx less than or equal to alpha. So alpha is here, P is here. This is the members of set S. So see, this is my set S. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So obviously I want to show that there exists some C in AB so that f of C equal to alpha. So can you please tell me what should I take this value so that I will get alpha equal to f of C? See, alpha is the maximum value. ये सेट देखिए, एस एस में मिनिमम वैल्यू कहाँ पे है? यहाँ पे है, पी के आगे, है कि नहीं है ना? देखिए,
हाँ सर।
और यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है, तो मैक्सिमम वैल्यू के नजदीक कौन है देख सकते हैं आप, कौन है, कौन सा नंबर है, कौन सा है?
अल्फा।
अल्फा। तो मैक्सिमम ऑफ और सुप्रीमम ऑफ एस मस्ट इक्वल टू अल्फा होनी चाहिए। समझ में आ रही है बात? तो यही से मुझे सी मिलेगा। देखिए, अब मैं इसको, इसकी सुप्रीमम का एग्जिस्टेंस बताता हूँ। ये तो मैंने डायग्राम के हिसाब से आपको बताया कि इसकी सुप्रीमम होगी, वो अल्फा होगी, ऐसे ऐसे बोल दिया, लेकिन मैथमेटिकली हाउ कैन यू शो the existence of supremum? You must have to show that that set is non-empty bounded subset of R. So now can you give me any one element of set S? भाई अभी बताओ मुझे।
हाँ सर।
Can you give me one element from
S
set S?
P
Oh, sorry. Yes.
P.
Yes. Note that f of P equal to m less than or equal to alpha. Therefore, P belongs to S, or S is non-empty. Okay, for every x belongs to S, this implies that x less than or equal to Q, or Q Q is an upper bound of set S. Okay, clearly S is a subset of R. Therefore, S is non-empty bounded subset of R, and since R has LUB property, LUB of S exists in R. So now let me take LUB to be what should I take LUB? Yesterday what I have taken LUB? Do you know? Let me take the same number. Yesterday I have taken C. Let C equal to LUB of S. So I have found one C from here. Okay. So now you can see it is clear that C less than P less than or equal to Q P less than or equal to C less than or equal to Q. Why this is true? Can you give me the answer? Since P belongs to S and C equal to LUB of S, therefore here from there you can say that X less than or equal to C for every X belongs to S. Since P belongs to S, okay, P less than or equal to C, and Q is an upper bound of C. Upper bound of S, and this is the least one. Therefore, this is the relation. Therefore, you can say that C belongs to closed interval PQ. Closed interval PQ is a subset of closed interval AB. Therefore, C falls in closed interval AB. So I have proved that this C is within interval AB. I want to find out some C belongs to AB so that f of C equal to alpha C. So I should show C belongs to, clear? Abhay. So we have here proved that C belongs to AB. Now we will show that f of C is equal to alpha. In order to show that f of C equal to alpha, first I will show that f of C greater than equals to alpha and f of C less than or equal to alpha. So there are two things that we should show. Okay. So let me prove one by one. Okay. So first we show that f of C greater than equals to alpha. Okay. Now if there are two possibilities about C, either C equal to Q or C not equal to Q, isn't it? So let me take this case. If C equal to Q, then what is the relation between then you can say that FC, What is FC? FC becomes, since C equal to Q, FC equal to FQ, and FQ greater equal to capital M, and capital M greater than equals to, already I have taken alpha between small m and capital M. See, look at this, your alpha is between small m and capital M. So alpha less than or equal to M, or M greater than equals to alpha. So now put this together. Therefore, f of C greater than equals to alpha. So in this case, if C equal to Q, we have proved this. So we assume that C is not equal to Q. Let us consider another case. So now if C less than Q, C less than Q, it is clear that C cannot be bigger than Q, since C falls between P and Q. C lies between P and Q. C can see from this. It is here. So if C less than Q, fine. So since C is an upper bound of which set? C is an upper bound of set S. C is an upper bound of S for all x such that, for every x such that, let me consider such type of x, C less than x less than or equal to B. I am taking x, set of all x which are bigger than S. We have x does not belongs to S. So why this is true? See, the reason is this. So for all x, so that, let x be, let me consider such that C less than x less than or equal to B. Now see, I want to show that x does not belongs to S. I want to show that x does not belongs to x. Let me consider, if x belongs to S, then what happen? If x is a member of S, then you can say that fx less than or equal to alpha. Do you understand? Alpha. Or another thing, if x belongs to S, then second thing, what is LUB of S? LUB of S is
Q.
C. C equal to, we have assumed that LUB of S. What is the relation between C and X? C is bigger or X is bigger? Do you understand? This is LUB and this is a member of set. Vaibhav.
हाँ sir.
But I have taken C less than X, so which is a contradiction. I have taken C less than X and I am saying that X less than or equal to C. This is not possible. ये तो चोरी पे सीना चोरी है. सर्वोत्तम ने 5 करोड़ रुपये अभय से लिए हैं, तो सर्वोत्तम को वापस देना चाहिए ना. तो वो बोलेगा, तूने अभय मेरे पास से 5 करोड़ लिए, तेरे को मुझे को देना है. ये ऐसी बात है कुछ. समझ में आई बात? सो therefore x belongs to S is not possible. Therefore x does not belongs to S. If x does not belongs to S, what is the relation between fx and alpha? Therefore fx, see, if x belongs to S, then fx less than or equal to alpha. If x does not belongs to S, then fx greater than alpha. Otherwise it becomes member of alpha. So in this case also, fine. See, fx greater than alpha for all x belongs to open interval C to close interval AB. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now since f is continuous, at c, limit as x tends to c fx is equal to limit x tends to c plus fx is equal to f of c. Understand? See, now this is point C, this is X, and this is Q. C plus, so we are approaching C from right. We are approaching C from right, so from this side I am approaching C. Since I have taken C less than X, see, for this is true for all X. Now let me take limit. Therefore, limit x tends to C plus fx. This is also bigger than limit x tends to c plus alpha, but this is a constant, so this limit is alpha. And what is value of this limit according to this? What is this limit?
FC.
Fc. Here I should write greater than equals to alpha. Already we have proved that if fx is not equal to gx, then limit of fx is greater than equals to limit of gx. So according to that result, I can say that fc greater than equals to alpha. So I have proved this. So in any case, I have proved one inclusion. First, I will show that fc greater than equals to alpha. Next, I will show that fc c. Now, what is c, by the way? Now, this is my purpose. C is nothing but LUB of S. Therefore, for every n belongs to n with note that this is true. Which number is bigger and which one is smaller? C is bigger or C minus 1 upon n?
C is bigger.
Yes, so I should write here strictly less than. And C equal to what? C is what?
LUB. Yes.
Please, bye-bye.
लिस्ट upper bound.
Yes,
C का पूछ रहे हैं ना?
least upper bound. C is?
Least upper bound.
So, upper bound which is?
Least.
Least. So, if I take any number smaller than upper bound, then that cannot be an upper bound of set
S.
Yes.
So, can you say me which number is not an upper bound of set S? Since C is LUB of S and C minus 1 upon n is less than n. Therefore, C minus 1 upon n cannot be an upper bound of set S. Therefore, there exists xn belongs to S such that for every n I can find out xn. So for that I can find out xn in S so that C minus 1 upon n less than xn. Clear? Vaibhav.
Yes, sir.
And xn less than or equal to C. The reason is this: since xn is in S and LUB of S is C, so what is the relation between xn and C? Xn less than or equal to C. Therefore, by taking limit as n tends to infinity, C minus 1 upon n equal to limit of xn as n tends to infinity less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity C. So this limit is C. And what is the limit of C minus 1 upon n as n tends to infinity? This is also C. So C equal to C. Therefore, by sandwich theorem, what can you say?
xn की लिमिट भी c होगी.
Yes. Wait for a minute. Xn has limit therefore by sandwich theorem limit of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to C. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now what is limit of f of xn, by the way? What is limit of f of xn? Since f is continuous and xn tends to C, f of xn has limit f of C as n tends to infinity. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now xn belongs to S. So this implies that f of xn less than or equal to alpha according to definition of set S. So this implies that as limit n tends to infinity, f of xn which is less than or equal to alpha. But what is the value of this limit? So hence I will get fc less than or equal to alpha. So first I have proved that fc greater than equals to alpha. Let me say this to be A, this to be B. Therefore, by A and B, I can say that fc equal to alpha. So therefore, for every alpha belongs to R with m less than or equal to alpha less than or equal to capital M, there exists C belongs to AB such that f of C equal to alpha. So this is a second proof of intermediate value theorem. So both the proofs are very standard and I like both the proofs. अगर आप कोई भी प्रूफ लिखेंगे एग्जाम में मार्क्स तो पूरे ही मिलेंगे. आपको कौन सी प्रूफ अच्छी लगी, ये वाली या कल वाली, कि दोनों की दोनों
कल
अच्छी?
कल वाली सर.
कल वाली इजी लगी?
हाँ सर.
कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन ये भी स्टैंडर्ड प्रूफ है. देखिए हमने एलयूबी का यूज किया है प्रॉपर्टी का. देखिए ये सैंडविच लेमा यूज किया है, ये एलयूबी की प्रॉपर्टी यूज की है, यहाँ पे कंटिन्यूटी यूज की है. ठीक है, बट दिस इज अ वेरी स्टैंडर्ड थियरम. और यहाँ से ग्राफ से आपको पता लगा कैसे हमने अल्फा निकाला है. वी एक्सपेक्ट दैट मैक्सिमम और सुप्रीमम ऑफ एस जो होगी उसकी एफ वैल्यू लेंगे तो दैट मच इक्वल टू अल्फा होना चाहिए, और वही है. मैनी टाइम्स ग्राफ में से हमको क्या सब बहुत ज़्यादा पता लग जाता है. ठीक है, ये ग्राफ मैंने आपको समझने के लिए ड्रॉ किया है. सो दिस इज अबाउट intermediate value theorem. Fine. Now let me take one result. Yesterday I have taken Bolzano theorem. Today I will take first let me define what is fixed point. Let us see definition of fixed point. Actually उसकी तीसरी प्रूफ भी है. ये थियरम है ना इंटरमीडिएट वैल्यू थियरम, पर मैं तीसरी अब नहीं करवाने वाला हूँ. वो भी अच्छी प्रूफ है क्योंकि दो तक. अच्छा, आप तो दो में से कोई एक ही प्रिपेयर करेंगे, लेकिन मेरे को लगा कि मुझे दोनों करवानी चाहिए क्योंकि टाइम है. तो अगर टाइम नहीं होता तो जस्ट आई विल गिव वन प्रूफ, लेकिन हमारे पास अभी तो बहुत टाइम है. और चौथा यूनिट है ना भाई स्टूडेंट्स, सभी सुनिए. चौथा यूनिट तो बहुत छोटा है, डिफरेंशिएशन वाला. तो अभी ये यूनिट में एक ही टॉपिक बाकी रहा है, यूनिफॉर्म कंटिन्यूटी. आई थिंक आई विल कंप्लीट इट विद इन 2 और 3 लेक्चर. तो बाद में तो एक ही चैप्टर बाकी है और वो बहुत ही छोटा है, डिफरेंशिएशन वाला. तो आपका एनालिसिस का कोर्स कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, क्योंकि इसलिए मैंने ये दोनों तरीके से प्रूफ आपको समझाई कि टाइम था. अदरवाइज देखिए, अब ये देखते फिक्स्ड पॉइंट की डेफिनेशन. Fixed point means a point which remains fixed under function. It is known as fixed point. So let a function f from x to x is said to have a fixed point p belongs to x. P belongs to x if f of p equal to p. If this is true, then I can say that p is a fixed point. Okay, so let me take one example. F from r to r, fx equal to, let us take x square minus 3x plus 2. Find the fixed point. So what are the fixed point of f? Can you give the answer? Tell me. Our fx is, can you factorize this?
2 plus 2 और minus 2 होगा सर.
2 or 1? See, f of 2. What is f of 2? Sorry, these are the zeros. f of 2 equal to 0 equal to f of 1. So 2 and 0 are, we say that x is fixed point or p is fixed point. Of f. This is true if and only if f of p equal to p, isn't it? Do you understand what I mean to say?
Yes, sir.
By the way, I should, let me take here place of 3, let me take 2. Fine, this is okay. So what is f of p? Let me remove this. What is fp? Now bring p on left side. Now let me solve this for p. This is p minus 2. So what are the values of p? 1 and 2. So what are the fixed point of f? 1 and 2. So आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि मैंने यहाँ पे 3 के जगह पे 2 क्यों ले लिया, क्योंकि आई कैन फैक्टराइज इजीली दैट ड्यू टू दिस रीजन आई हैव टेकन 2. मेरे को ऐसा कुछ नहीं था कि मुझे यही एग्जांपल लेना था, लेकिन मैंने यहाँ पे कंस्ट्रक्ट कर दिया कि मुझे फिक्स पॉइंट निकालना है तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. समझ में आया? आप भी दूसरे एग्जाम्पल सोच सकते हैं, वैभव कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हैं ना फिक्स पॉइंट के.
हाँ सर.
ओके, अब अभी मैं जो रिजल्ट प्रूव करने वाला हूँ वो मैं कैसा फंक्शन लूँ तो दैट विल गिव्स मी इट हैज़ एटलीस्ट वन फिक्स्ड पॉइंट उस पे है. ये तो ठीक है कि मैंने ऐसा लिया फंक्शन एंड आई हैव गॉट द फिक्स पॉइंट. ज़रूरी नहीं कि हर बार आपको ये फिक्स पॉइंट मिले. अगर आप सोचिए कि कॉम्प्लेक्स रूट वाला एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं तो यू विल नॉट गेट फिक्स पॉइंट. और ऐसे ले लीजिए, अगर एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस x square plus x plus 1, then this has not any fixed point in R. Reason is this: fx equal to x if and only if x square plus x plus 1 equal to x. X gets cancelled, so that you will get x square plus 1 equal to 0, and this does not have any real root. Okay, if and only if x is equal to, हाँ यही इक्वेशन की वजह से तो कॉम्प्लेक्स एनालिसिस खड़ा है इसकी मदार पर. ठीक है, therefore you cannot find out x from R so that fx equal to x. तो ये फंक्शन है मैंने लिया है, उसमें कोई भी फिक्स पॉइंट नहीं है. ठीक है, तो अभी जो मैं रिजल्ट प्रूव करने वाला हूँ विच विल गिव्स अस द एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ फिक्स्ड पॉइंट. ओके, अगर मैं कंटिन्यूस फंक्शन लेता हूँ क्लोज इंटरवल ए बी से क्लोज इंटरवल ए बी का, तो उस पर हमेशा मुझे फिक्स पॉइंट एक मिलेगा मिलेगा और मिलेगा, ऐसा है. सो लेट मी स्टेट द रिजल्ट. लेट f from close interval AB to close interval AB is continuous function or continuous function, then f has at least one fixed point. You can always find out one fixed point. So let me prove this result. C. So this is a continuous function. Now मैं देखिए क्या करता हूं. I have given that f from AB to AB, not R. Now let me define G from closed interval AB to closed interval AB as I am taking Gx equal to fx minus x for x belongs to closed interval AB. If I can show that G has a 0, then I can say that at that 0 f has a fixed point. This is my claim. There exists some C belongs to AB such that GC equal to 0. If I can show this, that is GC means FC minus C equal to 0, that is C will become a fixed point of F. स्ट्रेटेजी समझ में आई आपको प्रूफ की? अब भाई टेक्निक
हाँ सर।
देखिए यहाँ पे मेरे को फिक्स पॉइंट निकालना था तो मैंने एक नया फंक्शन डिफाइन किया fx माइनस एक्स नाम दिया उसको और डेफिनेशन दी और नाम दिया उसको g. तो मुझे क्या निकालना है? g के 0 निकालने हैं. तो अभी देखिए एक चीज तो तय है यहाँ पे कि GA और GB दोनों for all x belongs to closed interval AB, this implies that A less than or equal to Gx less than or equal to B, isn't it? क्योंकि G कहाँ से कहाँ पे है? AB से
AB.
yes. Okay, since f is continuous, on AB fx minus x is also continuous on AB. That is, G is a continuous function on AB. Now, what is GA? GA is equal to, can you give me the answer? F of A minus A. Okay, and this is always positive. Why this is positive? A less than or equal to fx less than or equal to b for every x belongs to AB. So if you bring this A on this side, then fx minus A is positive for all x. So in particular fa minus A is positive, therefore G is. Now what is value of GB? GB, by according to definition, GB equal to FB minus B. Now tell me, this is positive or negative, Vaibhav?
Negative.
Yes, very good. Why this is negative? Same reason. If you bring B on left side, fx minus B is less than or equal to 0 for every x. So in particular, if you take x equal to B, it is negative. So now look at this, GA and GB are of opposite sign. Therefore, by Bolzano theorem, there exists some C belongs to closed interval AB such that GC equal to C. Therefore, GC equal to 0. Bolzano-theorem. Yesterday we have seen. याद है आपको स्टेटमेंट? What is GC? GC equal to FC minus C. Therefore, FC equal to C. Or you can say that so this completes the proof. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So we stop our discussion here. So in the next lecture we will see new topic. Name of the new topic is uniform continuity. Okay, it is also important topic. Uniform continuous function. Okay, so goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, sir.